Welcome to a journey where you'll learn how to gain programming experience, an essential skill in this digital age. Yes, we're talking about programming, that magical craft that powers the digital world we live in. It's the secret sauce behind our favorite apps, games, and websites. It's no surprise then that knowing how to program is an incredibly valuable skill these days. But how can you gain programming experience? Well, that's exactly what we're going to explore in this video. We'll discuss 4 key steps: practicing regularly to keep your skills sharp, working on real-world projects to apply what you've learned, contributing to open-source projects to gain experience and make a difference, and networking to connect with other programmers and learn from them. Starting from scratch can be intimidating, but with the right approach, you'll be coding like a pro in no time. The first step to gaining programming experience is to practice regularly. Imagine if you were trying to learn a new language. You wouldn't just read a book about it once and expect to be fluent, would you? Of course not. You'd practice speaking it every day, listening to it, reading it, writing it. The same principle applies to programming. Just like learning a language, programming also requires regular practice. It's not enough to just learn the syntax and understand the concepts. You need to code and code some more, and then code even more. It's through this continuous practice that you'll start to gain experience and become more comfortable with programming. There are plenty of resources available for you to practice coding. Online coding platforms, for instance, provide an interactive environment where you can solve problems, learn new concepts, and improve your skills. Some of these platforms even have a community of coders where you can discuss problems and learn from each other. Books are another great resource for practice. They can provide in-depth explanations of concepts and often come with exercises and projects for you to work on. Don't just read the book, actually do the exercises. Coding challenges can also be a fun way to practice. They can range from simple tasks to complex problems that require you to think critically and apply what you've learned. Plus, they can be a great way to test your skills and see how you stack up against other coders. But here's the thing, you need to be consistent. It's better to code for an hour every day than to code for 7 hours one day and then not code again for a week. Regular practice is key. It's also important to be patient. You're not going to become an expert overnight. There will be times when you'll feel stuck or frustrated. That's okay. It's part of the learning process. Keep practicing, keep learning, and don't give up. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. Similarly, your programming skills will improve over time with consistent practice. The next step in your journey to gain programming experience is to work on real-world projects. Immersing yourself in real-world projects is like stepping into a playground where you can put your skills into action. It's a hands-on way of learning that goes beyond the theoretical aspects of programming. It's where you start to see the magic of how those lines of codes you've been working on can solve real problems. Think of it as a laboratory where you can experiment with what you've learned. You see, programming is not just about writing code, it's about solving problems, innovating and creating something that can have a tangible impact. And nothing beats real-world projects when it comes to honing these skills. You might be wondering, where do I start? Well, start small. You don't have to build a spaceship on your first go. It could be a simple project like creating a calculator app, a to-do list, or a basic website. The goal here is not to create the next big thing, but to learn the process of translating an idea into a working piece of software. As you gain more confidence, you can gradually move on to more complex projects. Perhaps you could build a more advanced app or a dynamic website. Maybe you can even try automating a task that you find repetitive. The more complex the project, the more you'll learn about different aspects of programming like debugging, testing, version control, and even collaboration. Remember, it's not about how flashy or complex your project is, it's about the learning and the experience you gain from it. Every time you work on a project, you're not just writing code, you're becoming a problem solver, a critical thinker, and an innovator. You're learning how to take an idea and turn it into reality. And the best part? Every project you work on becomes a part of your programming portfolio. It's a testament to your skills and experience, a proof of your journey as a programmer. By working on real-world projects, you'll be applying what you've learned and gaining invaluable experience. Contributing to open source is a fantastic way to gain programming experience. Let's dive into why that is and how you can get started. Open source projects are like an open book. They offer a wealth of knowledge and practical experience that you just can't get from textbooks or online tutorials alone. When you contribute to these projects, you're not just writing code, you're solving real-world problems, learning from seasoned developers, and making a tangible impact on software that people around the world use every day. One of the biggest benefits of contributing to open source is the opportunity to learn from others. You're part of a community where everyone is eager to help and learn from each other. You can ask questions, receive feedback on your code, and see how others approach the same problems. This gives you a unique perspective and a deeper understanding of programming that you can't get elsewhere. Contributing to open source also enhances your portfolio. Employers love to see real-world experience, and open source contributions are a clear demonstration of that. You're showing that you can work on large code bases, collaborate with a team, and contribute meaningful code. Plus, your contributions are publicly visible so anyone can see the work you've done. So, how do you get started with open source contributions? Start small. Look for projects that interest you and start by fixing small bugs or adding minor features. As you gain more experience, you can take on larger tasks. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Remember, the open source community is all about collaboration and learning. One final tip: be patient. Contributing to open source can be challenging, especially at first, but don't get discouraged. Keep at it, and over time, you'll see your skills improve and your confidence grow. Contributing to open source not only enhances your programming skills, but also gives you a sense of community. So, why not give it a try? Dive into the world of open source and start building your programming experience today. Networking plays a crucial role in gaining programming experience. Now, when you hear the term networking, you might think of those awkward business mixers your parents used to drag you to, where everyone's trading business cards like they're Pokemon cards. But in the programming world, networking is a lot more than just that. Imagine a vast, interconnected web of programmers all sharing their knowledge and experiences. This is what networking in the programming world looks like. It's a lively community filled with individuals who are just as passionate about coding as you are. Attending meetups and conferences is one way to immerse yourself in this community. These events are a fantastic opportunity to meet like-minded individuals, learn from their experiences, and even collaborate on projects. You'll find that these personal interactions often lead to the most profound learning experiences. But let's say you're an introvert and the idea of social gatherings makes you want to crawl into a shell. Fear not, online communities are just as vibrant and offer a similar level of interaction. Websites, forums, and social media groups dedicated to programming are teeming with discussions, advice, and mutual support. Participating in these can provide you with a wealth of knowledge and a broad perspective on various aspects of programming. Engaging in these communities can also lead to potential collaborations. Working on a project with others not only allows you to gain practical experience, but also exposes you to different coding styles and problem-solving strategies. It's like getting a backstage pass to the thought process of another programmer. And the best part? These communities are open and welcoming to everyone, from the newbie coder just starting their journey, to the seasoned programmer with years of experience under their belt. So whether you're a rookie or a veteran, you'll find a place in these communities. So don't underestimate the power of networking. It's a great tool for learning and growth. So there you have it, the roadmap to gaining programming experience. Let's take a moment to recap the key steps that have been discussed. Firstly, it's all about practice. Regular, consistent practice not only helps you to hone your skills, but also builds your confidence. Next, we talked about the importance of working on real-world projects. This allows you to apply what you've learned in a practical setting, and gives you a taste of what it's like to solve real-world problems. We also highlighted the value of contributing to open-source projects. It's a fantastic way to learn from others, improve your skills, and make a meaningful contribution to the programming community. And finally, don't overlook the power of networking. Meeting like-minded individuals can open up a world of opportunities, offer new perspectives, and even lead to mentorship opportunities. Remember, the journey of gaining programming experience is a marathon, not a sprint, so be patient, stay consistent, and keep learning. Happy coding!